bit of a change from the norm. I'm actually going to do a unboxing or unparceling video. I've received this parcel at work today from one of my YouTube followers, All the Gear No Idea. I think a lot of my followers actually know him. I did actually mention him in a video a couple of videos back. He's very kindly sent me some ceramic core adjusting tools for like IF transformers and things like that. And he said he was going to send them to me, which is very nice, and just wanted my address, so I've been in contact with him. His name's Chris, and you've probably seen his video. He's a bit of a character, a bit of a comedian, interesting chap. Obviously knows a lot about digital electronics, whereas I know nothing about. He's also into the hoarding of lots of equipment that he doesn't particularly need, which is great, because that makes me able to justify the same problem with my girlfriend. She thinks that I've got 5 oscilloscopes in here, I show her Chris's videos, and she realises I am not abnormal. I'm just one of the multiple people with collectorholic tendencies, I suppose, is the best way to describe it. Anyway, so this is a parcel. So I'm going to open it up. We're going to have a look through what's in here, and then we'll have a look, see what we've got. So this is our these are our trimming tools by the looks of it. Now these look very interesting. Now this one here looks just like a sort of like a screwdriver fitting. Now these are great for things like the hackers. The hackers have like a screwdriver slot. Now, the problem with the hackers is they are so fragile that the cores are actually usually very tightly fitted into the transformer itself with like an elastic band, and it's slightly a bit of pressure and they fracture. And this one here, let's just pop it out, it's hard to see inside this one here is like a, I don't know if you can see that, just see that's like a Phillips or Posi head. Now that's interesting. I think I have seen some of the more modern trimming capacitors, they have like a Phillips or Posi head, so that will be useful for things like that. Certainly sort of like trimming capacitors and things like that, which are really sensitive to anything metal being put near them. They, just alter the capacitance, the stray capacitance on them. So that will be useful. I've got a huge selection of tools here. I don't know. It looks like some of them are duplicated. Let's have a quick look. Okay, so different size. We've got 2 different sizes of flat trimmers there. So flat bladed screwdriver type. There's another Phillips Posi screwdriver. Looks slightly smaller than the other one. Yeah, much smaller size. So that's good. And some more flat ones. I think what I'll do, because they're all the same colour, what I'll do is I'll mark them up with a sort of like an identifying mark on the side of them, like a spot of paint or something. But we've got a good selection of tools here. Now, I've never used ceramic trimming tools before, so I've no idea how strong they are. But I'm sure we're going to find out. And it actually shows on the back here. If you look here, there's a huge selection of the flat blades. So I've obviously got looks like he sent me the entire set. Yep. So is the entire set. Oh, that's great. Thank you very much. That's going to be great for sort of adjusting particularly trimming capacitors. Actually, these trimming capacitors that are really sensitive to pick up from metal and iron and steel and stuff in the screwdrivers. That'll be great. So thank you very much, Chris. That's going to be very interesting, and hopefully you'll see me using them in some of my videos. Or I'll certainly try and find something that will require them, and we'll give them a go at a later stage. He's also sent me a few other bits and pieces. Now I don't know what the hell this is, but I only spotted this evening actually. It must admit, I opened the parcel up this morning because I've just got another car, so I've been waiting for some parts for an old car I bought. So I've been expecting other bits. I've been going through all the parcels. I knew Chris was going to send me some stuff, but I wasn't sure what was in. I wasn't expecting a parcel as big as this, to be honest with you. So what have we got here? There's obviously a printed circuit board for something. Have a look there, and it looks like it's got a lot of LEDs on the outside here. You can see a line of LEDs on the outside, and on the other side it looks like, well, we've definitely got, that looks like it, what's that say? So that's, I don't know what that is. That looks like it could be a buzzer or something. That's some sort of chip there. Oh, there's a speaker there. I'm not sure what, oh, battery. I bet that's a CR2032 or something like that. We've got a couple of button positions here for reset mode and plus. Wonder what this is. Any ideas? It's also got a Bluetooth marking there as well. USB. So what can this be? What can this be? Does anyone know what this is? Well, I'm going to ruin it for you in a minute anyway, because I'm going to start unpacking it further and see what else we've got. Okay, so we've got a USB cable. You could expect with something with a USB. We've got an IC header here. So we've got a dual inline 8-pin header, and what's this? This is a 40-pin? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, so it's a 40-pin. I think it's a 40-pin, or it might be 42-pin header. Got some electric bits here. Oh, we've got a little LED readout display here. Well, I wasn't expecting any of this. This is great. So we've got a little buzzer here, a little battery clip here. We've got a little speaker, and we've got, looks like a mini USB port there. I don't know if you can see that. Just there, it's a little mini USB port. We've got a little 8-pin chip here. Not sure what that is, but I'm going to take a wild guess that might be a LM555. Or NE555, isn't it? Is it an NE555? I must go to the opticians. No, it's not, is it? It's a... What is that? I can hardly read it. DS1602? Not sure what that is. Op amp, maybe? Probably an op amp. Could be an op amp to drive the speaker. And this chip here, the larger chip is an 88. What is that? Let's read that. 88952. So I don't know what that is. Is that a little CPU? There's a couple of headers and standoffs in there as well. Uh-oh, scary. Surface mount components. So that's going to be a bit of a practice for my surface mount soldering skills. Actually, I must admit I do this sort of thing at work, so it's amazing how well you can solder with a normal soldering iron with surface mount stuff once you get the hang of it. The best thing to do, I personally find, is you put a blob of solder on one end of the track. Let me just show you. So you put a blob of solder and say one end of the track here. I know it's not very clear for you to see. Solder there, hold the component on, solder one end on each leg of the component, and then solder the other end. Works fine. You don't really need, well, it's easier to use a proper reflow oven, reflow gun, but you don't really need it. And we've got a couple of components in here. We've got an electrolytic capacitor, we've got a quartz crystal, a header. It looks to me like a transistor of some description. Actually, it looks like we've got two quartz crystals. We've got a larger one and a smaller one. We've got 3 switches, which we knew had switches anyway. So, what is it? That's the good question. I'm wondering what it is. And of course, sorry, we've missed the LEDs out. We've got LEDs around the top, so a mystery. We'll have to build that on video. And I think it's going to be a competition between three YouTube members who's going to build the. I don't know if they all got the same little kits. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. I don't know. But I suppose it's going to be who builds the nicest looking one. It'll be a good test of people's skills for how well they solder. So what else have we got in here? There's more to come. A bag of golden gum nuggets. Oh, I remember these as a kid. I've forgotten all about these. They look like little bits of plastic, but they sort of they're shiny. I haven't seen these in years. I've forgotten all about them. So I've got some gum, man. So I'm going to chew some gum when I'm doing the building of that little electronic project. Some Parma violets. Parma violets. Parma violets. Giant Parma violets as well. I remember these. I remember some bloody horrible kid at school bought some in and said, "Oh, he was a school bully." And I thought, why is he being so friendly? And he said, "Oh, have some of these, son. Eat these. These are good. You're my friend, And I'm thinking, creepy little sod. Anyway, I ate about 4 of them. Then I found out the little shit, but they were laxative pills. I spent the rest of the day on the toilet. Oh well, I'm sure he loved me really. Oh, we got some love hearts as well. That's nice. Oh, it's a Valentine. I tell you what, I'll give that as a Valentine present to my girlfriend. She won't know. We've got some fruit pastels. Oh, I like them. I think I'll take those to work tomorrow. Now, oh, polos. Got some polos. Lovely. Thank you very much. Now, this stuff, I think used to be called space dust. Do anyone remember space dust? And it used to popping candy, I think it is. Yeah, there you go, popping candy. We used to call it space dust. Used to go to the shops and buy this space dust. I remember when it first came out, and it's really weird. I mean, I'm sure most of my viewers know space dust or popping candy, but that's good. I'll take that to work tomorrow. Some milk chocolate. Obviously thinks I'm a bit underweight or something. I think he's suggesting that I need to put some more weight on, but thanks, Chris. And right at the bottom, I've got 2 little memory cards. So I really don't know what to say. I'm sort of a bit overwhelmed by it all, actually. I knew he was going to send me some trimming capacitors and trimming tools for capacitors and inductors and things, but I wasn't expecting all the sweets and things. So all I can say is, Chris, thank you very much. It's it's been a bit of a surprise, and it's been nice. It's nice to know that sort of your videos are appreciated. I know my videos are only sort of very basic and sort of not much detail in them. Initially, I was only making these videos to keep a tab of what I do to things, and I thought, well, I might as well make them public, because I think YouTube won't allow you to keep the videos private. They'll just delete them if they think you're just keeping them for your own sort of like cloud storage. But yeah, it's great. Thank you very much, and I'm certainly going to use the trimming tools. I'm certainly going to get through the chocolate if my girlfriend doesn't see it first, and get through it. Fruit and Nut, blimey. Remember Fruit and Nut? I bet, who remembers the Fruit and Nut advert with Kenneth Williams? So everyone's a fruit and a nut case. I remember that. I used to like that advert. Just goes to show advertisements and advertising does work. I'm going to take those to work tomorrow and see if anyone remembers those. That's great. So yeah, that sort of basically wraps this video up. I've also got another YouTube follower who's works at an electronics company in Reading, and he's on a journey down towards the south coast, and has been in contact with me to say, would I like a DSA. Now initially I thought, what the hell's a DSA? And I sort of just said, well, oh yeah, a DSA would be useful, thinking, bluff him, you know, I have no idea what a DSA is, but it's a digital. I've forgotten what it is. It's a basically it's a Fourier analyzer, audio analyzer sort of piece of kit from HP. Digital signal analyzer, that's what it is. And he's basically the company that he works for has thrown this out, and he's got one already, or he doesn't need it, and he's offered to give it to me. So brilliant. So in the next couple of, well, probably the next couple of weeks, I should have another video of me fault finding this. I know it's got a few problems and it doesn't boot, and that's half the fun of these videos, you know. It's a bit boring. I mean, a lot of the equipment I bought recently, you plug it in, it just needs a battery change or something, and it works again. And I've been really impressing myself, I must admit, with the ability, just sitting and working and at it and looking and doing research on the internet. I have repaired things that if someone told me 5 years ago you'd repair a Tektronix 2440 scope, I'd say no, I wouldn't. No, it's not. I haven't got the ability to do that. But sitting down, reading, researching, help from the internet, just sitting there, just thinking about it, and just giving yourself time, you'd be amazed what you can do. It really is. I really am sort of giving myself. I'm giving myself a bit of a pat on the back, but it does. It does. If you got the time, you've got the inclination, and you really want to do it, you will achieve it. And I know a couple of people have said on my videos, "Oh, I've got a so and so or so and so." One of my recent comments was actually, "I've got a repair of binoculars," and it's quite a high hitting video of mine. It's like 100,000 now. Of a pair of binoculars I stripped down and cleaned, and that was my previous obsession before I got into all of this. And this chap has replied, he said, "Oh, I want to do it to my binoculars, but I'll never be able to get them back together again." And I replied to him, I said, "Well, how do you know that?" I said, "Have you had no experience in mechanics at all?" And he said, "Oh, I have, but I just know I won't be able to get them back together." I said, "Well, what are they?" And they turned out to be a pretty cheap pair of binoculars. So he replied back and said, "Well, they are. They're just cheap Japanese binoculars." I said, "Well, they're not worth anything. You can buy a pair for 30, 40 quid. Why don't you take them apart and see if you can fix them? You might surprise yourself, and you'll be happy." And I think he's taken it up. I think he's decided that's the right course of action. On the slightly comical note, I bought a second-hand Seiko watch from eBay. There's a lot of Indian companies selling them second-hand, and I bought a really nice, or ordered a really nice Seiko 5. I don't know if anyone knows the Seiko 5. They're the automatic watches from the sort of like 70s. I just love the faces on them, and they're usually about 18 quid. You can buy one for, so they're cheap. A lot of the dials have been repainted, but this one was a really nice, particularly nice dial. It was a white dial with a red sort of flash on it, and I thought, well, that looks really nice. And the watch turned up, when was it? Wednesday? Yeah, it must have turned up Wednesday. And I'm proudly presenting you with a Mickey Mouse Seiko 5. And I'm thinking, that's not quite what I wanted. But then I find out that these Seiko 5s with the Mickey Mouse dials are actually worth a bit more money than the other ones. And the sellers got wise to that and said, "Well, you can send it back if you want, but you've got a higher value watch." So now I'm going to try and negotiate some sort of refund, but I don't know. Sometimes it's not worth it, is it, when you send stuff back to India? It costs you sort of 5 quid to get, and then you've got to try and barter with them to get the postage back. It's just not worth it. Anyway, thanks for watching. It's been a bit of a rambling video, and thanks very much to Chris. All the Gear No Idea. I'll put a link down to on the bottom of the more info tab or whatever it is below the video, and hopefully in the next week or two we should start on the DSA. And I've also actually, whilst I'm at it, ordered a Marconi power meter. Now, I've never bought one of these, and I need to sort of get my head around it, how it works, but That should be coming in the next couple of days, and maybe some videos on that as well. Anyway, thanks for watching.